Welcome back, everyone, to more Pokemon Emerald. It's your boy, Mr. Popo here. I haven't eliminated the human race just yet, but I've thought about it. Oh, yes. And I do have a question for all of you, including this human sitting next to me, Shadow Blazer. Why do all these squares make a circle?
I don't know.
But yet they do, and you should know. Oh, look, it's a Pokemon. I guess we have to kill it now. But you're not killing Pokemon, you're knocking them out. Not in my book.
Oh, shut up.
What I'm saying. They are dead. I have killed this fisherman's poor Barboach. If I'm even saying that right. So welcome back to Pokemon Emerald, everybody. And we are here in Fall Arbor Town, where I kind of decided to try and do a little bit of Pokemon hunting. Unfortunately, it's kind of not fruitful. Because I was being told... Now, here's the thing. We were being told by guides that we could get a Sandshrew in this area. You can. In Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh.
We actually had to clarify this in the Emerald walkthrough. In Emerald, you can't. You have to go out to the desert area to go get a Sandshrew, and that's who I want to give my newest dig TM to. So, sorry guys, you have to deal with a little bit of Meech going out and trying to catch Spinda. Not really. I didn't want Spinda. I wanted Sandshrew. That, and I've already decided what he's going to be called. Are you ready, Alex?
Okay.
Critterp.
Okay.
Because he crits all the time. Not anymore, but I mean, you know, that's a nice little callback to the Sandshrew I had.
Yeah.
That crit all the time.
You wish you could have brought that one over.
Only because Gen 1's
I really do. That one was broken.
Yeah, because of Gen 1's mechanics.
No. It was also remember, it was also broken by the emulator. The emulator also broke it so that it made it like your crit likeliness was, I think, 85%.
That's not because of the emulator. That's because of Gen 1 mechanics. Because
no. I got that, and then I also got told that it was an emulator bug too.
I don't know. Not really. Whoever's saying that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Okay, all right. Well, I was just laughing because I'm like, I want that thing back. It had like a 90% crit rate.
Like, unless they,
especially with Slash.
No. The point of an emulator is to replicate the hardware of a Game Boy.
Oh, that's what I should have called him. Slasherp.
Yeah.
Slasherp. Nah, I'll go with Critterp.
But what matters is the software, and the software is what counts.
Yep. Either way, that Sandshrew was broke as fuck.
Yes, because in Gen 1, crit rates are based on speed.
Yes, and if Sandshrew and Sandslash aren't the fastest, they are like one of the fastest in Gen 1.
I think they're pretty slow, actually.
Well, then why did I get all that crit rate? All those wonderful crits all over me. Okay, that sounded wrong. I'm sorry. That was wrong. I apologize to all the kids that were listening to that and all of the kids in adult bodies and all that fun stuff. Anyway, so I think it's only appropriate now that I actually take on something that hasn't been happening in a while. Are you ready, Alex? It's time for Drak's Anime Update! I watched one episode.
Of course you did. It's always just one episode.
Well,
at this point, you might as well not bother.
At this point, I have an excuse, and that was E3. E3 left me very, like, the week before that was when I had a bunch of appointments all together, and then on top of that, I had a bunch of videos to put out all at once, and then E3 happened. So usually when I'm going to bed and watching these Gundam episodes, I was going to bed and crashing. I was done for the day. But that has changed, so I can guarantee you guys I'm going to be better at that. And I will finish Victory Gundam very soon. But I do have a little bit of an update with Victory Gundam, and that is I'm sick and tired of the villains already. I really am. And I'm also sick and tired of frickin' Uso. Because, man, I swear, his crush could get away with murder, and he'd be like, "Do you still like me?" So for those who don't know what I'm talking about,
Blinded by infatuation, huh?
I've referenced her before, but the character Katagina is now officially on the bad guy, on the Zanskar side, and she really does act like she's been brainwashed over to it, because she basically went from a person who cared about people to, like, I'm not even kidding, like, hardcore feminist 2.0, okay, which is what Mariaism is. And if you guys don't believe me, look it up. It is literally, we want to overthrow the patriarchal government to install a maternal government. That is literally their aim. And so at that point, she acts like she's been freaking mind controlled. And the worst part is like, she throws out horrible things to Uso. It's like Uso and her have had to fight a couple of times, and she's like, I don't like you anymore. You're super ugly. I'm paraphrasing here.
Right.
But it's like, you're the ugliest person I've ever met. And this affects Uso. But then he comes back to try to save her. No, I want you to die, and I want you to die by my own hands. Why would you say that? One episode later, he is back trying to get her back. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Is like, the villains are driving me nuts. And on top of that, Uso's driving me nuts because he is literally enabling behavior. If she was a drunk, he'd be enabling her. He'd be the guy that is like, oh no, I'm totally off the wagon, Uso. I totally am. But could you go and get me a beer just in case I have the cravings? And he'd be the guy who went and got not 1, but 6. Because that's how you get beer.
Right.
Unless you want the big cans. But do you see what I mean, guys? Like, it's the ultimate enabler. Oh, and even better, the other thing that keeps on happening is we keep on putting Shakti, who we know now is the queen of Zanskar's daughter, into positions where she gets kidnapped. And then the whole episode is basically, we've got to get Shakti back because she's been kidnapped and we can't let her go back to Zanskar. I'm not kidding. We've had like 3 or 4 episodes that have been just that. Like 5 minutes in, Shakti gets kidnapped, and now Uso has to save her. But while he's trying to save her, he has to run into Katagina again, and Katagina says something really, really horrible about, like, dying in a fire. And I was like, how could you possibly say that? I have to save Katagina. No, you have to kill her. I'm not kidding. I'm done with her. She needs to die.
Okay. Jeez.
However, I'm going to give somebody a little bit of recognition, because somebody sent me a theory. I can't remember who, right off the top of my head. It's in my email. A listener of ours sent me a theory about Victory, which is that way back when I did a review of Gundam Formula 91, F91, which was supposed to be a series originally. And they actually wrote out like 13 episodes of this thing, right? But then they decided, no, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do this as a movie. So one of the reasons that F91 and the complaints that I have is because it was so condensed. Mm-hmm. It's because they took 13 scripts and condensed it down into a 2-hour movie.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But now this guy actually introduced the theory of like, and I kind of agree with him. I think the F91 scripts were brought over to Victory. There are actually a lot of assets from. Oh, by the way, hi. What's her bucket again? I can't remember her name. Ah, crap. She's the Bill of here.
Yeah. Lotadol.
Oh, this is gonna make people so mad that I can't ever remember her name. May I offer some advice about my Pokemon storage system? You should organize your boxes so you can tell which Pokemon are in them.
Lynette's or something?
Like Lynette.
Lynette. That's what it is.
Oh, you didn't get that Pokeball?
I didn't get the Pokeball. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I think I come back and get it, though. So I just can't remember if it was on camera. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm thoroughly convinced this is true, because there are assets of F91 that are in Victory. So, for example, Katagina, the way that her character kind of plays out, I swear is a carryover from F91 and the female protagonist in that. The other thing that I think is similar to it is the mother making the Gundam, because that was also how the Gundam F91 was made.
Right.
Is like the mother was a designer and made it. So yeah, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I don't even know if you want me to mention your name, but I completely agree with you at this point. I think Victory is basically taking some of the things that were in F91 and moving it over into a brand new series. Is that a good thing? Right now, with some of the stuff that I know is carried over, not really. But I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I mean, you know that for every... and Alex, you can kind of attest to this, because you've written before. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you've had a couple of scripts where, like, you had this asset, it didn't really work, and then you implemented it into a later script, right?
Yeah.
That stuff happens. Especially with, like, anime and TV.
Oh, yeah. And you talk about a huge franchise like Gundam.
Yeah, you have to have at least a few things kind of carry over. I mean, that's why we make fun of the trope of, like, the Gundam protagonist runs away. He's done it in almost every series. I'm not even thinking of one right off the top of my head where he didn't. So, like, Amuro started that, and then eventually Camille did it, and then eventually... I can't remember the Double Zeta one's name off the top of my... Judao. Mm-hmm. They all have done that particular episode. And so, you know, like, we make fun of the fact that there are stereotypical episodes of a series that must happen. In particular, filler in shonen shows. Slice of life ones have to have the obligatory festival episode.
Yeah, festival or beach episode or hot spring episode.
Actually, I would say festival and beach episode, because sometimes they can have them separately.
Yeah.
And they have the same plot.
Yeah, it's true. Even the good ones have had them.
Yeah, I mean, like, Fruits Basket, for crying out loud, had what, 4? 4 of them?
Not really.
Because they had a festival, they had a hot spring retreat,
yeah.
They had a Valentine's Day one,
yeah,
and then they also had White Day, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's only in the manga, but they had New Year's. So
no, White Day is in the anime.
Oh, you're probably right. It's been a while since I've watched the anime.
So you have those kind of recycling plot lines. So I'm saying it's entirely possible this could have happened.
Yeah.
Do I think the designs are recycled? No. There's nothing that's telling me that, because Victory looks, including the Victory Mark II, they don't look like F91. And in fact, if I gotta be honest, like, if I'm judging the mobile suits, I like F91 better than the Victory models.
Oh, you got the Viper.
I did. Oh, and you're gonna like his name. I'd like to introduce everybody to Sniktderp.
Sniktderp.
Because I looked at his fangs and I thought, like, Wolverine claws. And what happens in all the comics? Snikt. That's actually the sound effect in the comics of when he pulls his claws out.
Oh, cool.
Snikt. And I spelled it the exact way.
Nice.
So Sniktderp.
And contrary to what the anime will tell you, Viper does not evolve from Arbok.
No. Is that literally just an anime thing?
It was a mistake in the anime. I think it was like a dubbing error or something, because it's like,
where they actually show Arbok evolve into Viper.
No,
yeah, not that they show it.
Happen.
They don't show it, but like, I think it was like during the Hoenn era, or maybe a little after, where like it kind of like the place of sort of the eye catch, the Who's That Pokemon. They like said, "Hey trainers, what does this Pokemon evolve into?" It's like those kind of things. And it's like, one was Viper, and it's like, okay, trainers,
so
what Pokemon evolves from Arbok? If you said Viper, you were right.
So let me ask this:
I'll have to, when I get to that, I'll have to see that.
What was Hoenn? Was 4Kids still in charge at Hoenn?
Yeah, I think so.
So this was 4Kids fucking up.
Yeah.
Is basically it. Pardon my French, but that's what happened. Is they looked at it and went, "Oh, look, another snake. It must be an evolution."
Yeah, there's a lot of like little dubbing errors like that. You know, there's like the one time where Officer Jenny calls her Growlithe Arcanine.
Yeah.
Arcanine, use your flamethrower.
Oh, dude.
And of course, there's the movie.
It's not like Pokemon was the only culprit here. Yu-Gi-Oh had a bunch of stupid ones too.
Yeah.
I think. Crap, who are the other 4Kids ones? Sonic X, I've been told, has had a couple of flubs.
Oh, yeah. A lot of dubs like that have those weird little errors in them.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so I actually do catch this Swablu.
The Swablu?
And the only reason that I catch him is because eventually, when you evolve a Swablu, his evolutions get dragon attacks. And so at that point, I was like, oh, well, I don't have a dragon type, and it's going to be a while till I get one. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one. And yay, there you go. We have Swablu. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember what I named him, but he is joining the Brigade. If for no other reason than he's kind of my out for dragon types. Are you going to give a nickname to Swablu? Yes. Yes. Drak, you don't have to think about it. Yes. Yes, you are. Why are you thinking about it? Oh, you want to know what I bet happened? This will probably get... there you go. It probably got... I had to go chase my daughter. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. You're gonna...
Oh, here we go. So Flufferp. Welcome, everybody, Flufferp.
Right.
Because he's fluffy, like clouds. Flufferpy. That's right, Flufferpy. He still has Erp in it. So before people get mad at me, it still has Erp in it. Flufferpy. Because he's fluffy, like clouds. Because his wings are clouds. Do you get it, people?
I think they get it.
Yeah, hope so. Anyway, back on to making fun of 4Kids.
Yeah, let's see.
That's low-hanging fruit, isn't it? It's real easy.
I don't know. You probably don't want to count on it. It doesn't learn great moves as far as dragon goes.
No, but at least it's got some dragon moves. I also, later on, am going to catch a Magikarp just because Gyarados eventually can get some dragon moves too, and I think his moveset's better. Because he still gets Dragon Rage.
Dragon Rage isn't that great. It's a fixed damage move.
Yeah.
So... Really,
well, you can't please everything.
If you need an offensive against a dragon, just get a good Pokemon with type coverage and ice moves.
Yeah, that's the other problem too, is that I'm not really coming across ice types.
You don't need a pure ice type. You just need a Pokemon that can learn ice moves.
Oh, but I don't even have any ice moves to teach right now.
You'll learn some, but you're not going to...
I have Mist, and that's about it, because Serp has Mist.
Yeah, but you'll get some. You're not going to need it right away.
No. But yeah, that's also another one that I want to get is type coverage for ice, because even though this area Hoenn does not have an ice trainer, but eventually it does have one where ice is a good counter. And I think that's the next one. I'm making my way to Flannery right now. Not Norman, but I think Winona. Yeah, she's a flying gym, and so ice works good for them.
Or electricity, which you already have.
Or electricity, yeah. So it's like, oh, yay, I'll go ahead and get all the type coverage that I want. But I think eventually I do get a TM for Ice Beam. So maybe I'll just put that on Serp, and he can be my ice, water, flying. And he also has Fly, so he's my transportation.
Yeah. Let's see. Gyarados learns Hydro Pump at level 40.
Or actually, no, he's going to get Surf, because he's going to be my Surf guy, and then... Tailow's gonna be my flying guy.
Dragon Rage.
Because I'd rather fly on my Taillow. He's
Twister.
awesome.
Hydro.
Or sorry, Swellow, because he's not a Taillow anymore. He evolved. Everything changes. And this was actually where we kind of figured this out. We actually tried to look up Sandshrew to see what the hell was happening. Because Andrea had the idea of let's search the Pokedex and see where they actually say you have to go.
Have you seen a Sandshrew at this point, though?
Yes, I have. I've battled one. I've battled a number of them, actually. So search completed. There you go. Trico, Silcoon, Seedot, all the way down. Sandshrew. So there you go. There's this information. And that's basically showing me where he is, and that's where the desert is, because it's Route 111. So that's where he shows up.
In the desert area.
In the desert, and I can't get into the desert until I beat Flannery. Because it's not her, but I get the goggles that will help me in the desert. So that I can be a person of the desert.
The goggles do something.
And have Gerudo Valley playing off in the distance. Okay, I'm sorry. I will stop singing. That's Alex's shtick. But yeah, so there you go. There's my anime update. I'm really frustrated with Victory right now, and really looking forward to finishing it so that I can move on to G Gundam, which I know is good. G Gundam will at least be hilarious. And yes, I move. And before people get on my case again, because I've had those occasional people, yes, I'm going to go through G Gundam because I want to see if the past series affect kind of my viewpoint on G Gundam as a whole. And that's going to go ahead and do it. We'll see you guys next time.